Thing number 5. Oh, the echo. Oh! 5 things that I currently feel violently passionate about. They're so good. Favourites does not even do these things justice. Some of them it probably does, but there are a couple that honestly I've just been dying to tell you about. Now, the first thing I feel like I'm going to have to do a completely separate video on, because it's a health related item. And that always starts massive conversations. Anytime I mention cystitis online, I get thousands of people contact me with their own stories, anecdotal information, things that have worked for them. And I feel like people are divided. The population is divided down the middle of people that really badly suffer from it. And then there are a few people that have just never had it before, or they've had it 1 or 2 times and then forgotten about it. But for the chronic sufferers, people that have had all the tests, had all the investigations, cystoscopy, tried all of the remedies, had all of the antibiotics, it's quite a debilitating thing to have. It's horrendous having frequent cystitis. So I'm going to do a whole separate video about it. But just to say, I'm not a medical practitioner, obviously, but these were recommended to me by an NHS doctor, consultants, and a private consultant, and they're D-mannose tablets. Not these particular ones. Downstairs I have got a huge vat of cheaper ones. I think they're about 1/8 of the price of these, and but these are the ones that have sort of changed things up for me. So for about 10 years, I've been told to take D-mannose, but not just when I have cystitis, all the time. So take it twice a day, just to prevent it happening. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I'd be really good if I felt the symptoms coming on, or if I had it, but then I'd have it and it always just escalates really badly for me. And I always end up having to take antibiotics because I just cannot function. I cannot get out of bed. It's awful. What has changed for me is that I've started taking them religiously every single day. And I bought these ones off the internet. They're the waterfall ones, which are so much more expensive than the ones I have downstairs in the kitchen that I take normally. But they're chewable peppermint. And so I have a packet in my handbag, I have a packet on my desk, and I have a packet in the car. You take 3 at a time. So the packets are crap because they're gone in about, I don't know, 3 days if you only take these. But because I have them on me wherever I am, it reminds me to take them. And so I've been taking them. I have more. If I'm going to be sitting at my desk all day, which seems to be one of my triggers, I have more. If I've had any alcohol whatsoever, which isn't very often, but if I do, I up my dose. But any kind of trigger, take them extra. And these, I can just sit there, chew them. They're not like the most amazing peppermint flavour in the world, but they're fine. And I quite like just chewing sweets. And I feel like these are allowable sweets. So, since I have been, oh God, I feel like I'm going to jinx myself. Since I've been chewing those and taking the D-mannose religiously, I have not had, oh, touch wood, a single episode. And the interesting thing is, the reason for years I've been going backwards and forwards to the doctors, being referred to consultants. I've had 2 cystoscopies, one of them under general anaesthetic because I found the first one just so unbelievably traumatic, and various other tests, and there's been nothing physically wrong with me. And the reason that I was going backwards and forwards all the time is that I felt that I always needed to eat, always, even when I'd just been. And I was starting to go like 40 times a day. It was becoming a real problem. And it was almost like I had some kind of irritable bladder. Anyway, no one could get to the bottom of it. And I thought, you know what, this is just something I'm going to have to live with. It got a lot worse after I had kids, but I'd always had it since, I remember going to the doctor when I was about 25 maybe. Since I've been taking the D-mannose religiously, I've even forgotten that I've ever had that thing. The frequency or the urgency or whatever they call it medically. I can't actually remember what it was like and how awful it was to have that every single day, because just the sensation has gone. So Like I said, this is purely anecdotal. I'm not saying take these tablets and it will completely do the same for you. But I just have noticed such a profound difference to my life that I can't not mention it. It doesn't have to be the D-Manos, the waterfall, but I think the fact that I have these chewable ones has meant that it's enabled me to keep up the routine with taking them. And now I feel like if I have to take those for the rest of my life, bloody hell, small price to pay for what feels like this amazing relief of not having to worry about this feeling all the time, the feeling that I always need the loo, the feeling like I'm always going to get some horrible UTI that's going to put me out of action for a week. Discuss in the comments if it's helpful for even one person. Quite honestly, I will be happy. And like I said, the ones I have downstairs, they're not expensive at all, so it's not like it's a massively expensive gamble. I want to talk about a book next, but it's in the bedroom. Let's go to the bedroom, we'll talk about the book. Let's just do it in order. Let's do it in the order that I thought. Okay, my second thing that I feel violently passionate about. Oh my God, this book. Nightbitch. Now, bought it because my friend T recommended it on Instagram, but then saw the cover, and you know that I'm a sucker for a good graphic book cover. Thought this is going to be a good one. If it isn't, at least it photographs well. Started reading this, and honestly, I don't know whether it's the same if you haven't ever had that, oh God, sheer sort of horror sometimes at having a new baby to look after, or just the whole transition to sort of having a child that, you know, obviously takes over your life, not in a bad way, but that's what happens. I don't know whether I would have whooped and cheered so much, quite literally, as I was reading it, if I didn't relate to it quite so strongly. But this book is a work of absolute genius. It's just a completely raw and feral account of womanhood and motherhood, and how it can just completely screw you up. You know, loss of identity and the tiredness, and let's face it and be honest, sometimes the boredom. It is all in here, and I don't want to give anything away because it's just so good. It's all in here, but not in the way that you'd expect. It's very, very weird. Just have been asking everybody, oh my God, have you read Nightbitch? And so many people have been like, yeah, where have you been? Didn't know anything about it. It's incredible. Paperback, so it's not as spendy as having to buy a hardback. Check your library, check your friends, see if you can borrow one. Honestly, very weird, but just some parts of it, they were just sublime in their amazingness. I don't very often, I mean, I love reading and I read all the time and I always appreciate what I'm reading. It's not very often I sort of feel breathless with what I'm reading. Oh yeah, I've just remembered my third thing before we go back into my office. Oh God, I've got this book here. Hold on. Let me just put my tripod up. I don't want you to see the back of my bedroom because it's so messy. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay. Didn't work very well, did it? Okay, so my third thing is my haircut. Mathilde at the Sweet Hair and Beauty in Bath is off on maternity leave, so Cassie has been doing it, and honestly, look at this cut. I just love it. I think it's just the sweet spot length, and I know I keep saying that every time I do a video. My hair's been anything from sort of this length down to here, but something has changed recently in that I have stopped stressing about the fact that I can't tie it back when it's shorter. And I love being able to tie my hair back. However, I quite like the fact that it just forces me now just to do a little bit of wave on it, and then I just kind of leave it down and deal with it. And I can't believe I'm stood like kneeling on the floor here to get into camera. What I will say about that is that I've been getting far less tension headaches, and I do think that always having my hair scraped back into a really tight bun, dunno. I mean, obviously it does create tension, doesn't it, on your scalp? And I've been having far less headaches. Look at me cutting down on my ailments one by one. Fourth thing, just gonna strip. If you don't watch my Instagram. People get really annoyed when you mention on any platform another platform. Like if anyone on Instagram says, oh, head over to my TikTok, people are like, no, put it on here. I don't want to go onto TikTok. And I do get it because I can't stand TikTok. But yeah, people always have a real problem with mentioning other platforms. But the problem is that some platforms are just better for some stuff. So for example, doing fashion stuff, it's really hard to get your whole body in on YouTube in this format. And so when you turn the camera that way, it's actually really easy. Anyway, fourth thing I wanted to show you, what I was going to say was there is a video about this whole cardi, and maybe I'll just put it onto YouTube Shorts so you can take a look at it. But this cardi, I love it so much. So I am an avid browser of the outnet. Yes. So anyway, I wanted a massive chunky cardi that I could either use, well, that I can use as a cardi, but also as a kind of half, as a coat really, in the springtime, and also as a kind of house coat dressing gown. Because I work from home, I spend most of my time just trying to keep warm. Not trying to keep warm, but you know what I mean, wanting to keep warm and comfortable, and I'm always sitting at my desk for hours at a time. So I just want to be comfortable. But I also want to just have some kind of self-respect and not spend my time wearing an actual dressing gown. So yeah, I really loved this. I love the I don't know what you would call this, like sporty arms, après, I think it's like après ski, it's called, this cardigan. Never been skiing in my life. Never going to go skiing because I hate the idea of it. Okay, hold on. Can't see me, can you? Thing number 5. Oh, the Echo. Oh! Aromatherapy Associates Bath and Body Oils. Massively long-term fan. I buy it a lot. They also, which is amazing, send it to me because I work with them quite regularly. Could be more. They are just incredible. Nothing really comes close, I don't think. And I know that they are expensive, but you use the tiniest amount per bath. So it's not like you're glugging it in with, you might have to with a cheaper oil to get sent. It is just essential oils, nothing mixed in. So it's like the essence, it's the espresso, you know, whereas you might be paying for a cappuccino and you don't like milk. Anyway, I've always been a deep relax person. I don't know how many bottles of deep relax I've gone through. My mum is also, she can't sort of now go without it, you know, she misses it if she runs out. However, I've discovered a new blend. I'm torn between the two. This one is called Support, and I am ploughing through it. Now look, I wish I'd done some research before I started and looked at what notes it was in here or oils. But it feels like, whereas Deep Relax is very deep and powerful and almost quite heady, a heady deepness, does what it says on the tin. This one, it sort of feels more optimistic and floral. It's still got a depth to it, but when it's called Support? So I just find that when I use it, I feel really optimistic and sort of motivated. I know lots of people hate essential oils. They hate everything about them. I actually find them in a bath very sort of mind transporting, and I love them. And I won't hear anything bad said against them. I fill the bath, I tip in loads of Epsom salts. I buy them bulk from Amazon in massive, here I'm going to show you. I buy them in massive tubs because it works out. I did a blog post on it once. I think it works out about, like 20 times cheaper or something than buying posh bath salts. So this is what I do. Okay, I buy them in huge buckets like this, and then I use the tiniest bit of my Aromatherapy Associates bath and body oil, whichever one that I'm using, particular blend I'm using, and that gives me luxury bath. Luxury bath, fraction of the price. And that's what I do, and it does send me into the best, deepest sleep. Very, very zen and very relaxed, which is not like me at all, as you know. I've got to get out of here. There's something about echoes that really disturbs me. So those are my five things that I feel violently passionate about. Is that going to be the title? I don't know. Comment away, and I'll see you next time.